Hello friends, this is Avinash Kumar. Welcome you all once again. In today's video, I am going to explain what object-oriented programming style is. By its name only, we can say that in object-oriented programming style, program will move around the objects. Initially, programmers or designer used to emphasize procedures only, which means how we can do this task. So it was a bit difficult to manage. Because in the real world, any work is done by someone or for someone, and that someone is an object. To understand this, let's take an example of movie. I will tell you the story of a movie named Three Idiots in two different ways. Firstly, I'm going to explain the story of movie in procedural programming style. Here it is. At the beginning of the movie, an aeroplane was running on the runway. All passengers were there on that plane. Suddenly, phone rang. He had a conversation on the phone. After that, he started acting like he was not well. Then the flight was stopped because of medical emergency. In this example, I'm only trying to tell you what was going on in this movie. But here we do not know what was the name of the flight, who was the person, where the airport was. Now we will try to understand the same story but in object-oriented programming style. So here it is. Film Three Idiots starts from Delhi airport, where Air India flight was on the runway, and one of the main character, Farhan Qureshi, acted by R. Madhavan, aboard the plane. Suddenly his phone went ringing. He received his phone, and after the call he started acting like he is not well. This thing was reported by an air hostess to the captain. He stopped flight as a medical emergency. In the second example, we find two different things. First, we can say that each and every task is related to an object, and second one is I'm not a good storyteller. So now we will try to understand some concept related to object-oriented programming style and also try to find out what are the objects we have in that small story. As we see over here, these are the features, or you can say that pillar of object-oriented programming style. These are object and classes, generalize and interface, polymorphism, and encapsulation. Now let's try to understand object and classes. Things those have an identity or do something is an object. In other words, we can say that things which have attribute and behavior is known as an object. Now let's try to have some example. There is a student whose name is Pooja studying at university named IGNOU, having enrollment number 06139501 is an object. This is because the student has some identity, like she has a name, she studies at a particular university, and she has an enrollment number. Now she does some task also, like she attends practicals, submit assignments, give term and examination, etc., which is her behavior. So here her attributes are her identity, and what she is doing is her behavior. So here we can say that identity of an object is its attribute, and tasks done by the object is known as behavior. Let's take another example of school. School represents a group, so it is a class. And objects are like Navyug Vidyalaya, St. Joseph, DPS, Central School or Army School. In the example of the movie, flight is a class, but Air India is an object. The airport is a class, but Delhi Airport is an object. Now let's try to understand generalization and inheritance. Let's take an example of cycle, moped and motorcycle. All of these vehicles are different classes, but there are some similarities among these three classes or examples. All three of them are two-wheelers. Maximum number of passengers can be 2 and many more. So we can say that cycle, moped and motorcycle represents a group, but these can also be kept in the group of two-wheelers. Means two-wheeler can be used as superclass for all three classes. So it can be said as a generalization of the classes. Now the next one is a polymorphism. By the name itself, polymorphism means having many forms. Means a task can be done in many ways, or many tasks can be done by many objects in their own ways. Let's take an example of addition of two numbers. Here all examples are known as an addition, but we know that it can be solved in different ways only. Next one is encapsulation. Encapsulation is a way to wrap up data and method into a single unit. It is used to achieve data hiding, or we can say that it deals with the protection of data from the programmers. During the code, the programmer cannot access data from the reference of other class. So this is the brief introduction related to the pillars of object-oriented programming style. Friends, you can also send your queries related to this video, and kindly watch my video on identifiers in Java. Till then, thanks. Kindly share this video with your friends, subscribe my channel, and please hit like button. Thanks once again.